Iran's emergence from months of conflict could have lasting consequences for the global oil market. A proposed U.S. Iran agreement could open the door for major resurgence in Iran's energy exports. Tehran may be able to increase oil sales rapidly if the agreement is finalized and restrictions are eased. The deal could unlock billions of dollars in potential revenue, providing a major boost to Iran's economy. Iran's oil industry appears set for its most significant recovery in years under the proposed framework. Energy markets are closely watching for the first increase in Iranian tanker shipments as sanctions relief approaches. Iran appears set to receive significant sanctions relief on oil trade following the signing of the proposed memorandum with the United States. U.S. officials say Iran would be allowed to resume oil sales immediately after the agreement takes effect. According to Washington, the sanctions waiver would cover both oil exports and a range of related services. The reported relief would extend to banking, shipping, and insurance support tied to Iranian oil sales. A U.S. official said, and I quote, "This is a performance-based agreement. Iran can only access any benefits of the MOU if they abide by all of the points they agreed to, including no nuclear weapon neutralizing its enriched material, and not interfering with the free flow of navigation in the Strait of Hormuz." Unquote. However, U.S. officials stressed that Iran would only receive these benefits if it fully complies with the terms of the agreement. The White House says Iran must permanently abandon any pursuit of nuclear weapons under the proposed agreement. Tehran would also be required to address concerns surrounding its stockpile of enriched uranium. The framework reportedly requires Iran not to interfere with international navigation through the Strait of Hormuz. Officials say any sanctions relief could be swiftly reversed if Iran fails to uphold its commitments. Energy analysts say the agreement could unlock billions of dollars in additional revenue for Iran's economy. One sanctions expert described the proposal as a significant financial concession to Tehran. Reports suggest Iran currently holds more than 100 million barrels of oil in storage. Much of that oil could enter global markets relatively quickly if restrictions are lifted. Iranian officials have also indicated that the draft agreement includes temporary waivers on oil-related sanctions. According to tanker tracking groups, Iranian crude exports had already resumed by June 16. The monitoring firms reported that 2 Iranian supertankers departed carrying a combined 3.8 million barrels of oil. The vessels were described as the first Iranian crude shipments to leave port in nearly 2 months. The departures came after what observers characterized as a 2-month disruption to Iran's maritime oil trade. The Strait of Hormuz is expected to reopen within days after the U.S.-Iran peace deal is signed, but normal traffic will not resume overnight. Experts warn that a full return to normal operations could take a long time, as safety checks and demoning must be completed first. Commercial traffic may stay restricted because of the potential presence of naval mines that could still threaten tankers and cargo ships. Specialists estimate that clearing the strait and setting up safe navigation lanes could take around 40 to 50 days of intensive work. Minesweepers and underwater drones are likely to be deployed to inspect key choke points and secure the main shipping corridors. This process would gradually help shipping companies, insurers, and energy firms regain confidence in using the route at scale. Nearly 20% of global energy supplies transited Hormuz before the war. Iran repeatedly threatened to use sea mines to assert control over the strait. Even a small number of naval mines can threaten tankers and cargo ships. Tehran has not confirmed laying mines, but the U.S. says the threat remains real. Washington claims it targeted Iranian vessels involved in suspected mine-laying missions. Germany's Navy said US and UK intel reported mines at 4 strait locations. Uncertainty still remains a major risk for ship traffic in Hormuz. Oil tankers carry cargoes worth hundreds of millions of dollars through Hormuz. Shipping body BIMCO warned it is still risky for vessels to freely transit. The shipping body said mine threats remain an immediate and long-term concern. Industry experts stress that verified mine-free corridors must be established first. Shipping executives say one mine strike could severely disrupt global trade routes. Global shipping firms are closely monitoring security conditions. With shipping risks still high, Western navies are already preparing for a Hormuz clearance phase once the ceasefire and deal take hold. Britain, France, and Germany have deployed warships and minesweepers that could be used in any multinational clearance effort. Despite repeated airstrikes, Iran is still believed to possess a significant stockpile of naval mines, according to expert assessments. The UN shipping chief has welcomed the Hormuz reopening plan, but also urged caution about promising an overly quick timeline. The US and Iran are expected to sign a peace agreement on June 19 in Switzerland, according to reports that cite officials and media on both sides. The specific details of the deal have not yet been published in full, with only selective leaks and brief hints emerging from Washington and Tehran. A 60-day round of talks on Iran's nuclear program is expected to begin after signing, alongside US compensation measures outlined in the framework. With so much still undisclosed, speculation is rife over what else the US-Iran peace agreement might include beyond nukes, Hormuz access, and financial relief. US may halt oil sanctions under proposed agreement. Deal could include a $300 billion reconstruction package. $24 billion in frozen funds may be released. Iran's deputy FM says talks will start only after frozen assets are unlocked. US officials reject claim that asset release is a precondition for talks. Reports suggest US agreed to drop Iran's missile program from negotiations. Iran's support for Hezbollah, Houthis, Hamas said to be off the agenda. If true, deal would narrow talks to nuclear and sanctions issues. Tehran also wants UN Security Council restrictions lifted or cancelled. Reopening Hormuz is expected to be a key pillar of the US-Iran understanding. Trump says Strait of Hormuz will reopen freely, without any transit tolls. Iranian media says Gulf shipping will be regulated with Oman, not fully unrestricted. Next phase of negotiations to focus heavily on Iran's nuclear program. Reports say Trump accepted uranium destruction or dilution inside Iran. Any uranium reduction would reportedly take place under UN supervision. Trump signals shift from zero enrichment demand to tightly capped enrichment. Trump says Iran will be allowed only low-level uranium enrichment under deal. US seeks strict limits to ensure Iran's program remains non-military. Trump vows Iran will never exceed agreed enrichment thresholds. White House says all 12 tons of enriched uranium must be removed or diluted. Trump proposes joint US-Iran effort to excavate and process uranium stockpile. Washington seeks near-immediate access to Iranian nuclear facilities. US official claims final deal aims to dismantle Iran's nuclear program. Tehran has not publicly endorsed Trump's proposed inspection framework. Mediator Pakistan says ceasefire deal includes Lebanon. Tehran claims Lebanon clause was a key condition for restraining retaliation. Iran demanded Israeli withdrawal from southern Lebanon. Israel rejected any obligation under the Lebanon provisions of the deal. Netanyahu told Trump Israel is not bound by Iran-US-Lebanon understandings. Israeli PM insists IDF forces will remain in current positions in Lebanon. Lebanon front could become first major test of any US-Iran accord.